Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, November 14th, 2017, and it's time to go to work on music. Today's been really good. I'm getting some of this stuff I've been dealing with internally and externally the last few days worked out and resolved, and it's a big relief, man, let me tell you. Gonna hit the online class front here. Gonna update you guys with what I'm doing there. Going to hit a quick drum practice, just move myself forward, share my progress. And then we're gonna dive deep on the production front today. I've got about 7, 8 hours ahead of me right now. And the big goals today are just to work hard on this guitar solo, get that to the next level, whatever that looks like. And then just track drums, just try to track a lot of drums. I didn't sleep particularly well last night, so I'm just gonna check in with myself and see how the session goes. I don't feel bad, but I also feel like maybe my physical resources are not what they might be on a different day. So my hopes are not particularly high. I'm not gonna lie, as far as like the tracks, I'm like finished tracks, but I still think I can make a lot of progress today and improve those elements of the song. And then, if all else fails, I'll come in and hit it tomorrow and Thursday, and hopefully knock it out in the next couple days. So, appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll update you guys with what I accomplish midway through, probably, and at the end. And talk to you guys in a few. All right, excellent first half of the day here. Got it on the online class front and got some more tips on Facebook advertising. Again, a lot of this is just repeating what was gone over in the earlier videos, but it's nice to get I don't know, just to get some repetition on it, but also every once in a while the instructor drops like this tiny little new tip or a little nuance or something, which kind of sparks your creativity and makes you think like, what could I do with that? Something like that. So that's been really great. I From there, got into a pretty quick drum practice, just moving forward with the mastery checklist. And then took a short break, did some reading from the Recording Secrets for the Small Studio book, just getting some tips about what to do if you're going to go into a big pro studio and do a session. And the main tips there are just if there's an engineer, staff engineer provided, make sure you at least connect or try to have a conversation with that person, ask how he or she would set up your session, and then just make sure that you guys are mostly in alignment, like philosophically, etc., or talk about any different demands you might have and see how receptive they are to that, because most engineers are gonna be more than willing to adapt to the needs of the artist or the session or the producer, but it's usually good not to try to make people do a total 180 from what they're used to doing. Also, if there's just an assistant, make sure you send the mic list ahead of time and make sure that you send a layout setup so that that person can at least get the room ready with all the mics on stands and stuff like that. So when you get there, you can pretty much just hit the ground running. And then, of course, the last tip, which almost goes without saying, is you just got to make sure you and the musicians are so prepared when you go into a pro studio, because the pace of work is just lightning speed compared to smaller studio work pace generally. So just amazing tips from Mike Sr. Mike Sr., you are the GOAT, man. You're just the GOAT when it comes to this stuff, and oh my gosh, dude, thank you so much for taking me to the next level, man. I owe you for making those books. It's just, wow, dude. You're really the guy. So I from there got into the production front and just listened to the track through my laptop speakers, which, like, isn't exactly reference quality, but it's important and it highlights different aspects of the track that you might not have thought of when you're listening on headphones or monitors or mix cubes or whatever you got, that you generally monitor on, just kind of getting a fresh perspective, something different, and just getting into the vibe of the song before I hit the drum tracking session. And then I just called it my drum session, got everything set up. Fortunately, the TD12 saved all my settings and presets, which was fantastic. Same with Logic 9, which is what I'm hosting the drums in. And then I got into working on parts, and I just started with the intro. There's a couple little licks that I'm stringing together that I'm really liking so far, and I'm just working out the stickings and the patterning. And honestly, guys, like, this new drum setup is just like, I don't even know how to say it. It's deeper than pure joy. It's like, it almost feels like I've been searching for this experience like my whole life. If I That's the feeling. Um, and now it's like, wow, it's really here. It's just like incredible, man. It's just so amazing, and it feels so the feel of the drums is so perfect, and the snare sound is money in the bank. It's perfect, and they really got that Bonham Zeppelin sound from the Ludwig snares in this library. It's just spot freaking on, and the tuning, getting the drums tuned the right way. And what I was playing around with is I wanted some different cymbal sounds, so I took the rims of the tom, the upper tom and the lower tom, which I rarely, if ever, do rim shots on my toms. The snare, I like doing rim shots a lot. And I just mapped the rim edges to two different China cymbals and started playing with the tuning there. So one I tuned way down, it almost sounds like a gong, which is just like, I don't know, it's like with great power comes great responsibility. When you got the gong, you can't just be like, boom, every downbeat. But wow, when you hit it, it is just like, there's just nothing like it, man. It's just like, wow. And then the other one, I had this really, really killer dark China sound that I tuned up a little bit so it meshes with the hi-hat and the ride is tuned down pretty low too, so it sounds nasty. It just sounds so filthy right now, and it just is so good. Oh my god, that's just exactly what I wanted for the drums on this track. And just thank you, Roland. Thank you, Superior Drummer, Tune Track. Thank you, everyone at Apple who did Logic. Man, you guys, I owe you. I owe you on this one big time. And I've never played China cymbals before. I've always loved the sound and those kind of effect sounds, and I love the way they blend with other cymbals and drums and stuff. And now I've got two, so you gotta love the digital sphere. There's definitely stuff we give up for the price of progress with technology, but there is also quite a bit of upside to that because I've got, I don't even know, 100 different drum kits, like, just in this little box, this tiny little metal box, my computer. And I can just call them up at will, change them after the fact. I can change the miking after I've recorded the drums. It's like, that's just straight up voodoo magic right there. So I'm loving it. Honestly, it's the happiest I've ever been just playing the drums, doing this. And I had to stop myself and be like, okay, let's actually work on the tune now. Because I was just going off in the zone, man. And it's really exciting. It's something I've been waiting for and working toward for a long time. And I'm really stoked. So I'm going to take a little breather, have some food, and then I'll be back later, probably with some guitar work. I'll update you guys when I get into that. All right, excellent session overall. Just stuck to the process, trusting that the results are going to come through. Second half of the session was very productive. Um, although maybe a little bit more of a grind than the first half. I basically just relaxed for a little bit, watched some guitar related videos about amplifiers and different things that I'm checking out as far as like small amps and practice amps and stuff go, and just let my body rest a little bit from the drum tracking, and then just picked up the guitar and started working on the solo. Probably ran through it a few times, just using the metronome, working up the speed, making sure my rhythm was perfect and that I was getting all the accuracy that I wanted. And that's kind of like the first level of learning anything, is you got to establish that basic technique. And Steve Vai talks about this all the time. He talks about how there's really two levels to technical execution. There's step one, which is just, can you execute it? Can you execute it with no mistakes, basically? Do you understand the fundamentals of it? And then there's the next level of going deeper than that, which is all about inspiration, etc., etc. And I'm going through a whole series of clinics of his right now, and that's just really resonating with me. And just, Steve Vai, you're a freaking boss, man, and I love you, and I appreciate you, and you're an inspiration to all of us. And I'm just doing my best to get there, takes a little bit of time, but yeah, this solo, it's good. It's good writing. The concept is there. It's just about execution right now and getting something that I'm happy with sonically and artistically and sort of emotively. And that's a lot of stuff to come together on one take, and I'm really holding myself up to like playing it all the way through as a full take, not comping two takes together or something like that, which is definitely making it much, much harder. But I feel like raising that bar and challenging myself is what's going to help me grow as a player and force myself to come up with new creative ways of managing my mind and my emotion and my delivery and all that stuff. And it's all part of just honing that skill of performance. How do you not just prepare, but how do you show up and deliver a life altering performance? Like, how do you condition yourself to do that every single time? That's something a lot of people are striving to do day in and day out. So doing my homework, doing my research, doing more, learning as much as I can about performance psychology and physiology and all that stuff, just trying to elevate my game, be the best I can be. So I did get a couple takes that felt good and also sounded pretty good and had some really special moments in them. I don't know if I got any of those that were totally mistake free, and I think I should probably decide if that's what I'm going for. I don't know if I'm going for something that's mistake free. I just want something that's perfect, even if it is perfect in its imperfection, if that makes sense. Something that has character. Doesn't have to be perfect sonically, but like it pretty much delivers the message. Like, yes, that's it, And this will just be a good learning experience for me. I've never really tracked a solo this much, or really any part this much. I've never really worked this hard on a part, so we'll see. Maybe I've got what I want already, and I'm just sort of spinning my wheels. That's a good lesson right there. Or maybe I'll push through and get something that's just incredible. That's just like beyond my own willpower. It's just like the luck of the draw. I was in the right place at the right time, and it's like this moment. Or maybe I'll come up with a new performance technique that'll just keep me at that elevated level forever. I'm not sure. I'm just willing to undertake the mystery and be comfortable not knowing for a little while, and that takes some energy, but you do get used to it after a while. So that was mainly the second half of the session there. I probably tracked for a few hours. I'm not sure. I'm not even keeping track of time anymore, but I might put one or two more sessions into this solo. I'm not really sure at this point. I think probably most of the energy for the next few days is going to go into the drums. Just try to get some momentum there, and just if I'm going to just sit down and do the same thing over and over again with the solo, that's probably not a good idea. I think I'll listen back tomorrow to what I have, try to make some notes, and then go into the next session, if there is a next session, just with a plan of like, I want to do this, this, and this, if that makes sense. Because just remember, repeating the same actions over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. And you will definitely drive yourself crazy doing that. So that's the story of today. I hope you guys are out there grinding towards your goals, enjoying the process. That's what I'm out here doing, just soaking up the highs and the lows, and it's all beautiful. It's all part of my story, and this is what I want to do with my life, and I'm doing it. How much better does it get than that? So have a great night, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more. Till then.